Competitive programming is a total gimmick. All right, guys, so you see out there these sites, these companies that do competitive programming where you have to write certain amounts of code in a certain period of time or figure out some little algorithms, little mind teasers, mind-bending code snippets that you have to solve. This is totally detached from the realities of real-world coding. And just because you can code something pretty quickly, that does not necessarily make you a very good coder, because that is a certain type of coding, speed coding, that I don't know, it might be good if you're doing some light scripting for maybe Maya or some video game or some video game engine, or for some video processing software. I don't know. And even that is very debatable. At the end of the day, what makes a professional coder is, number one, a professional coder knows how to write clean, reusable code that is decoupled from everything else, decentralized, if you will, and very readable and maintainable. Not whether or not you can write code in a certain period of time. Like, it doesn't really matter if it takes you an extra 30-40% time to write a piece of code if your code sucks. The code has to be clean, modular, decoupled code. If you don't know what this is, check out my links below. My courses are going to teach you all that. That's what separates the professional developers from the non-professional. And code competitions don't do anything to really improve your coding abilities, because, again, let me say it again, great coders able to write modular, clean code. That is the key. The tricky part about 99% of coding is in the architecture, the overall architecture of the code base, and your ability to write that clean code that utilizes best practices, where you understand things like design patterns and good naming conventions, all blah, blah, blah. Again, these things I cover in my courses, and I've covered on a superficial level, at least in a lot of my videos on this channel. So when I see code competitions and stuff, I'll tell you what code competitions are like. This is an analogy, but I think it's similar. A code competition would be like somebody who's really good at Scrabble. Somebody who's good at Scrabble. I don't know if you know that game Scrabble, where you get a bag of little bricks, little wooden bricks, and wooden tiles. Each tile has a letter on it, and you get a bag of these, and your job is to form words on a puzzle on the board. Put words together, and whoever puts the longer words, the more complex words on the board in the quickest amount of time, something like that. I don't play Scrabble much. They win the game. Of course, you could be a master at Scrabble, being able to put together words quickly that score a lot of points, but it doesn't make you a good writer, right? Somebody who can actually write well, write books. That's what code competitions are all about. They're kind of like Scrabble, in my opinion. If you want to be a good developer and make money and be a professional, you have to, A, learn your fundamentals, B, go out there and start building real projects, working with real clients. This is what's going to make you a good coder. Not whether or not you can write algorithms or figure out how to structure a multi-dimensional array within 3 minutes. That's not relevant. That's if you want to be a great Scrabble coder. As a recent example, we're working on some periphery modules to the Studio Web 4 platform. The Studio Web 4 platform is my code training platform. We developed a prototype about 7-8 years ago, and built it up over years, working with lots and lots of schools, and I guess over 1 million students, I'm sure, have used it over the years. And so with Studio Web 4, it was a brand new rewrite from scratch, taking everything we learned over the last 7 years, putting it into the new architectures, developing from the database up something that was efficient given the use case, given what the business requirements were for that particular software. And what determined whether or not the software was well written was not found in if I can answer some gimmicky piece of code within a certain time frame. No. What determines whether or not Studio Web 4 software is well written is that whether or not it's clean code, extensible code, it's a good solid foundation to be able to build upon as the business progresses. So we are working on peripheral modules, if you will, around the core engine that we built. And the value of the code base is in the fact that we can easily create these satellite modules around the core Studio Web engine. So for example, one of the satellite modules that we're building right now is a brand new store integration. The old killer video store, which I put together, 15 years ago, it's still being used and it works fine, but it was designed at a time when people bought, if you can imagine, CDs and DVDs with the course videos on them, and then later USB keys. Then we supported digital download. Now really most people want to consume content via streaming like a Netflix. So the new Studio Web store, which is going to replace the old killer video store, is based on the new model, the streaming model, and everything is integrated. There's all kinds of capabilities and tools just to help people manage their learning track within our architecture. And we have a whole bunch of new things happening. Again, what makes that code base nice is not whether or not my lead developer was able to write code, a complex algorithm in 2 minutes instead of 4 minutes. No, it was the architecture and whether the code is clean and whether it's performant code. So yeah, I'll end off with this. Let me say it again. Code competitions are gimmicks. It's just like thinking if you can do really well in a code competition, it'd be like thinking if you were good at playing Scrabble, being a champion Scrabble player does not make you a great writer by any means, right? Does not make you a great writer by any means. No. All right. I hope that helps. One of my jobs here on the web is to mentor young nerdlings and entrepreneurs and freelancers. You may or may not know, depending if you've watched my channel for a while, I've been at this game since the 90s. And so I basically, if I could summarize the mission statement of this YouTube channel is, you know that old expression, if only I knew then what I know now. So what I'm trying to do for you guys is to go back in time and to tell what I would tell young Stef, old Stef now, that's me, old Stef, if I could go back in time and tell myself, don't do this, do that, continue that, that's pretty good, that was great, this one, get rid of that, don't date her, but date her, etc., etc., etc. If I could go back in time and give myself this advice, save myself a bunch of headaches and years of time. So this is what I'm trying to do with this channel. I'm trying to teach you what I wish I knew back then. So there you go. You can take it as suggestions, or you could save yourself 10, 15 years, shave 10, 15 years or more of headaches and follow what I suggest, and you'll see that your pathway to financial independence and career, etc., will be much smoother. So yeah, that's it. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.